Imagine waking up every morning with a weight on your chest that no one else can see. The numbers on your screen stare back at you like accusing eyes. Balance is rising. Interest compounding. Payments looming. Your heart races before your feet even touch the floor. You scroll through messages from creditors. Calculate how many more months or years you must endure this and feel the familiar spiral begin. Shame, fear, helplessness. You tell yourself, if only I had more money, this would end. If only the debt disappeared, I would be free. But listen carefully, because this is the lie that keeps millions chained longer than any contract ever could. The prison is not the debt itself. The prison is the judgment you pass on it. The bars are not made of principle and interest. They are forged from your own opinions, your catastrophizing thoughts, your belief that external circumstances define your worth and your peace. 2,000 years ago, a former slave named Epictetus stood before his students and said something radical. Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them. Your bank balance is a thing. The due date is a thing. The collection call is a thing. None of these have the power to disturb your soul. Only the meaning you assign to them does. When you say this debt means I am a failure, or I will never escape this humiliation, or my life is ruined, you are not describing reality. You are creating your own torment. The Stoics, Epictetus the slave, Seneca, the wealthy advisor, Marcus Aurelius the emperor, knew wealth and poverty intimately. Seneca dined with emperors, yet reminded himself that true riches lie in few wants, not many possessions. Marcus ruled the known world, yet wrote privately, very little is needed to make a happy life. Epictetus owned nothing, yet declared himself freer than any king because he refused to let externals master his judgments. Today, I speak directly to you who feel crushed by cars, by debt. You are not alone in history, nor in philosophy. The Stoic path does not promise to erase your loans tomorrow. It promises something far more valuable. It promises to free your mind even while the balance remains. First, draw the line clearly, the famous dichotomy of control. Some things are up to us. Some things are not. Up to you, how you judge this situation. The actions you take today, your level of discipline tomorrow, your honesty with yourself and others, your commitment to virtue over comfort. Not up to you. Past decisions that led here, sudden emergencies that widen the gap, global economy shifts, interest rates set by banks, other people's willingness to forgive or restructure. Everything outside that line is indifferent. Preferred or dispreferred, yes, but never good or bad in itself. Money is a preferred indifferent. Having more is convenient. Having less is inconvenient. But neither makes you virtuous or vicious. Only your response does. When the anxiety surges, pause and ask Epictetus's question. Is this thing under my control right now? If not, release the emotional grip. Say inwardly, this is not mine to command. My judgment is that single sentence, repeated in the heat of panic, has saved more Stoic souls than any payment plan. Second, redefine wealth itself. Most people believe wealth equals large bank account minus small debts. The Stoics inverted the equation. Wealth equals few wants minus endless desires. Epictetus taught, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Seneca echoed, contentment comes not so much from great wealth as from few wants. When your desires multiply faster than your income, you remain poor no matter how much you earn. Debt often arrives precisely because we confused wants with needs. Upgraded phones, bigger homes, status symbols we finance to feel enough. Ask yourself tonight, what is truly essential for a good life? Food, shelter, basic clothing, health, relationships, the ability to reason and act virtuously. Everything beyond that is extra. The moment you internalize this, the pressure eases. A smaller enough makes even modest progress feel like abundance. Practice voluntary discomfort, as Seneca advised. For one day each month or 1 week, if you're brave, live as though the debt has already taken everything non-essential. Eat simple meals, wear old clothes, walk instead of ride. Sleep without luxury, face the fear directly. Is this what I dreaded so much? Almost always the answer is no. You survive. More than that, you realize you can thrive on far less than you thought. That realization is financial anti-fragility. Debt loses its terror when you know you can live without the lifestyle it once funded. Third, turn shame into fuel. Debt carries shame because society equates net worth with moral worth. But Stoicism rejects this completely. Your character is measured by courage, justice, wisdom, and self-control, not by your credit score. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. When shame whispers, everyone else is doing better, answer with reason. I do not know their inner struggles. I know only my own choices from this moment forward. Shame wants you frozen. Virtue wants you moving. So move. Make a list of every creditor. Call them. Be honest. Negotiate. Cut expenses ruthlessly. Increase income through honest effort. Pay smallest debts first for momentum, the snowball, or highest interest first for logic, the avalanche. Either way, action is the antidote to despair. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." Every time you resist an impulse purchase, you starve the craving that created the debt in the first place. Every time you choose delayed gratification, you build the muscle of temperance. These are not punishments, they are freedoms. Fourth, remember impermanence. Marcus Aurelius looked at gold, palaces, armies, and wrote, "All is ephemeral, both what remembers and what is remembered." Your current debt feels eternal because pain magnifies the present. But time is indifferent. Compound interest works both ways. So does compound discipline. Small, consistent actions compound into freedom. Visualize the worst case calmly, as the Stoics practiced premeditatio malorum. What if I lose everything? What remains? Reason answers. Your ability to think, to choose virtue, to love, to learn, to start again. That core is untouchable. Once you see that bankruptcy or hardship cannot steal your soul, the fear loses most of its power. Finally, practice gratitude amid the storm. Gratitude is not denial, it is perspective. Be grateful for the lesson this debt is teaching you about wants versus needs. The resilience you are building right now, the people who still stand by you, the simple things you still possess. Breath, reason, another sunrise, Seneca said. True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. You can begin that happiness today, even with red numbers on the screen, by refusing to let tomorrow's uncertainty poison today's duty. So here's the Stoic truth that can change everything. Debt is a circumstance. Stress is a judgment. Freedom is a choice. You do not need to wait until the last payment clears to be free. You can be free in your mind right now by judging rightly, acting virtuously, wanting wisely, and remembering what is truly yours. The call to action is simple, and it starts the moment you finish reading this. Tonight, before sleep, Sit quietly for 5 minutes. Write down. Also, one thing about this debt that is not in your control. One thing that is in your control. One small, concrete action you will take tomorrow to improve your situation. A call, a budget cut, an extra hour of work, saying no to a want. Then, speak these words aloud or in your mind. I am not my balance. I am not my past mistakes. I am my judgments and my actions from this moment forward. Debt may burden my circumstances, but it will not imprison my soul. Repeat this practice daily. Share it with someone else who suffers the same way. Build the habit until it becomes character. Because when your mind is free, no debt can truly own you. You are stronger than the numbers suggest. Begin now. What will you do with your freedom today?